the Scholar in 5 minutes. Like the Summoner, the Scholar also claims a book as its weapon, as well as 2 fairy assistants which are only different in appearance. Its biggest weapon is the ability to shield up the party and to preemptively mitigate damage, as well as reacting to raid busters with the help of ether flow abilities. Above that, the Scholar uses powerful supporting magic to bolster the party's offensive in bursting windows, and the best advantage, you also level up a DPS job when leveling the Scholar in the form of the Summoner. Gear-wise, the system works identical to the one of the White Mage, so head for item level and weapon damage with critical hit rating in mind. After that, you should favor determination over direct hit, other than on FFLock's percentile grinding, and choose spell speed as the alternative that is still better than any point of piety, when you can manage your MP without running into issues with it. That means only head for piety when struggling with your MP. Starting the Scholar's battle system with the most essential thing, Rune 2, a tool to avoid any form of hardcast clipping or delaying. By using Rune 2 right after a GCD spell, you create space for an amount of 2 OGCDs that we should mostly favor over GCD heals. That means Broil 3 is your most effective GCD you can use at this point, except some power healing is required and keeping Biolysis up on any possible target. Biolysis therefore can also be used to grant recast timer space, like Rune 2 does. On the other hand, the basic single target healing spell is Physic, that you should mostly avoid because of having stronger opportunities like Adloquium for example, also shielding up your target. To make use of the full potency of Adlo, combine it with deployment tactics to put that shield onto the target's surrounding party members. The AoE version of Adloquium is Succor, costing an insane amount of MP, but when not having OGCDs or fairy heals ready, it is a nice tool to power heal or protect your group from heavy raid busters. Here your emergency tactics become important, removing the shielding effect of Succor to turn that value into direct healing, where the potency becomes impactful and rewarding for the heavy MP costs. And now to the strong and more efficient OGCD, starting with Indomitability that requires you to spend a stack of ether flow that can be generated by its namesake, and also restores 10% of your MP and grants 3 stacks immediately. After the strong Indom, you should make use of Excogitation, which grants a target party member, the tank in the best case, an effect that is triggered upon reaching 50% of HP, causing the target to be healed up for 800 potency. Use this precautionarily just before starting the fight by using Recitation, or when running dungeons just keep it on your tank consistently. Mentioning Recitation, and utility OGCD, making your GCD spells to land as guaranteed critical hits, while removing the ether flow cost of your healing OGCDs. That also means as ether flow stacks can only be generated in combat, you can use Recitation for Excog right before starting the fight. But let us continue. We also got Sacred Soil, creating a zone that provides healing and mitigates damage. Try to teach your party some manners and let them step into it. For emergency situations, use Lustrate, a 600 potency single target heal which is lacking strength compared to Indom or Excog, but if you need it, take it. And for the case where you could overcap on ether flow stacks, use Energy Drain, that is a small DPS advantage when throwing it in after Rune 2. And all of these ether flow spenders have one thing in common, granting 10 fairy gauge points that will be used for fairy abilities, which directly leads us to Eos or Celine, whichever you choose for aesthetical reasons. First, your fairy can be seen as some sort of permanent regen effect, because she will constantly use her fairy skill Embrace, which heals the player with the lowest health as long as you don't command her to do other abilities. Of course, the target is chosen by your fairy, so you cannot favor the tanks or people that have to manage certain mechanics and need to be maxed out ASAP. But some abilities can be commanded, like Ether Pact, a channeled single target healing that consumes fairy gauge points over time, Fey Blessing, restoring HP to the party with 20 yalm radius, and Whispering Dawn, delivering a nice regen effect to allied party members. Utility wise, the fairy can be ordered to use Fey Illumination, boosting healing output of your heal casts while also mitigating some magical damage. The last one is Consolation, being bound to your fairy Seraph form, where its Embrace spell is also empowered, providing a shielding effect, and Consolation is some sort of a free succor used by your fairy, so if you really need shielding and have mind and time to plan it, use your Seraph form. Utility wise, Chain Stratagem is the before mentioned boost to critical hit chance on the target, so try to time it into your group's burst windows. While Dissipation releases your fairy from its service for 30 seconds, but granting yourself an increased GCD heal potency as well as 3 stacks of ether flow. Use this whenever needed, but mainly for damaging reasons. And as this video could only scratch on the surface of the Scholar, I highly recommend to check out my comprehensive guide for a much more in-depth explanation. So thanks to my patrons for that amazing support, and thank you guys for watching. Until next time, stay healthy and take care.